we will go ahead and get started. Thank you all for being here. Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is
We're
such a
here with the
powerful
three
room.
Andrews.
It's only
The
the beginning.
Thank
trifecta.
you.
It's a
The
trifecta.
trifecta. I love it.
All right, guys, if you can do me a favor, right? This is really just for me, I think. But you know, I really am constantly searching after truth. And if there's a most basic truth I know, I think about my current carbon-based life form, it's that one of my most base primary functions is to intake O2 and then restructure it towards a very incredibly beautifully structured CO2. So I would love to do that with you guys for like 3 intake exhales, and that'd be like incredible. And then we can move forward. And Andrew's here as well. Andrew, are you still here? Golden, I mean. Sorry, buddy.
Yes, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm
All
breathing.
right.
I'm
Okay, awesome,
literally
awesome, awesome.
like I'm
No, you're
breathing.
good. I just wanted to make sure. My thing like shuts off the typically on some Zooms, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll still see the name but without a picture. But it
Right.
is what it is. Mine just makes you disappear. Anyway, I like to I don't know. What do you guys do? Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, or do just nose?
Nose mouth.
All right, okay, okay. We'll do nose mouth. That's
7 seconds.
fair. Do both. I don't know which one I like more. All right. Wait, wait, wait. So that you can hear with me, I gotta get rid of the audio buffer that gets rid of all sound. All right. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Oh, exhale. And one more because it feels so good. Inhale. And exhale. Wow, thank you so much, guys. This group feels great. This group feels great. All right, real quick, you all know me, obviously. I don't need to introduce myself too much. I'm in Tampa. I want to go around the room and us all introduce ourselves to each other. I will, and then we'll get into the living dream. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, we'll go. We'll start with Andrew French, Andrew Draco French.
Hey guys, my name is Andrew. Yeah, so I'm here in San Diego, California. I used to live in Florida actually. I was in Fort Lauderdale for a couple of years. Then I kind of skipped over to the West Coast because I got some family out here. Yeah, I'm working on like building out wealth generators, so things that generate wealth, so that we can invest in what we're doing and building the world, creating a new earth. That's kind of my MO. That's what I feel like I'm here to do. So I'm very excited to be on this journey with you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing. We'll just go in order of how you guys came in. Shafiq, what's up, brother?
What's up, Andrew? And
Oh,
Andrew and Andrew and Impossible. My name is I'm the only guy in here that's not Andrew. Uh, I'll try to be quick. I met Andrew in Alchemist Nation. I'm flying down with a couple friends, bro, in a month. I'll see you soon. I hope I'll see the rest of you guys. Draco as well. I was just in San Diego last year. My name is Shaf. I'm from Lebanon. I've lived all over the world. But in 2012, I was literally just hit with this specific bug, and I'm thrilled to be seeing the synchronicities happen in a way where, people are lining them up to just make this dream happen. I always knew it was time. I knew we were going to need to do it as the world's progressing and the directions that the world's going to in some places. So I am I can say my contribution is I can get into the logistics. I've been studying the fuck out of earthships, sustainable building, even recently passive, like you said, Andrew Draco, passive money generation systems that are built around houses, you know, and I do mean like completely passive. You do nothing at all by the simple act of eating and pooping and peeping. You're creating wealth, and we can get into that. I love it. And I'm here to build a fucking revolution, and I want to bring it globally. You know, I speak 3 languages. I've been all over. I can tell you without a doubt that everybody in the Middle East and or Africa will see this beacon and fucking run. And it's our job to just spread it. So I'm excited as fuck, and I'm here for all of you. Whatever the fuck you need. I love you.
Love
Thank
it.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. I don't remember who came next. Oh, you know what? Em, you go because you're on camera.
Okay, sweet.
Golden.
So I'm Em. I'm currently in Iowa. This is my home state. So, and I am back right now. I have in 2023, or sorry, when I was 23, it's 2023 now. When I was 23, I woke up. I was hit and I had a vision that I was to continue going on. I come from massive poverty and I knew that life had to be different. And so it came inside of me that I was part of this global team that was even galactal, that was coming together, and we were coming for a change, and I would meet the people I was supposed to. And I had to just keep going on my journey. My journey has led me many places and many different realms. And I'm very diverse in any place that I can get in, that I am into. So the biggest gift that I really bring to the table is my connections with the divine, as well as community building and keeping people together as a community, seeing what the gifts and truthfully are in people and being able to give them a space to bring that out. I always, a lot of my people, they always say that I'm a permission slip. I'm their permission slip to be themselves. And so that is my gift, as my greatest gift that I have. I have a lot of human gifts, but that is my greatest gift that I love the most. So I'm very grateful to be here, and it sounds like I'm in a fun place with a lot of people that I'm supposed to be sitting at a table with right now. So thank you, Andrew, for having me here.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Are you serious? And thank you to Andrew Golden for introducing us, for sure. And which leads me to Andrew Golden. We got to figure out the name thing. It's true. We got to like, I don't know. We need titles and then just call
you
each
all
other
need
by our
nicknames.
titles. Yeah. Are you there, Golden? Can you talk?
Yeah, I actually I can't really talk right now. Like
Okay, no
I have
problem,
to I'm gonna listen, and then when I'm ready to go, like I will for sure, you know.
Sounds good.
But I'm
Thank you for
listening.
being here.
I'm
Thank you
listening.
for being here. Your energetic support. I can feel you the whole time.
Hell yeah.
It's all good.
Hell yeah. We're here. We're getting it. All righty.
Sounds good, man. Thank you. All right. So I guess now I will talk about, let me shut this off real quick because I'm listening to my phone. I want to discuss the living dream. And we were just talking, it was interesting how the conversation just naturally kind of organically went into this idea that every one of us, and I don't know, maybe you included, maybe you can participate in this conversation, seems to be feeling into this collective vision of, ultimately a new earth, obviously, right? And but everyone seems to have like a concept of a city or an island. Every single one of my friends at this point has a concept of a city or an island that they're looking to build, right? And so then I suppose I'm realizing that the living dream is just my version of that. And I hadn't really considered that too much up to this point. So a while back, a year ago, I got kind of triggered. Well, no, I'll start the beginning of the living dream. Beginning of the living dream, those words came out when John Lennon said, "A dream you dream alone is just a dream, but the dream we dream together is reality." And that hit me so hard. And I realized that's all it is. Like, we just forgot that we're like one kind of unit creating a shared story, right? And then the people that are powerful are just the ones that are really good storytellers, and that can craft a story that works for everybody. And so that's when I'm like, okay, all I can do now is start to write my story, because I don't have like skills and tools and that much right now. you know, but I can start to share what I am doing and who I am, because at the same time, like in 2020, we sold our real estate, and I believe most of you know this story. But in 2020, when we sold our real estate, we went on YouTube and started the Living Dream. The whole concept at the time was, we're retiring at like 25. You know what I'm saying? People talk about, oh, when I get to 65, I would love to, like, you know, maybe get an RV and drive around for a little bit. Life blessed us with the, you know, the knowledge, the network, and the accountability, and the plan to be able to do that at a young age. So we got that out of our system, learned a lot of lessons, but I documented that process. And the whole purpose of that was to show, I guess, give me a reason to always be focused on my self-actualization, right? Because I wasn't doing it just for me. And also, in sharing content, it would last beyond me, because we have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity with this new digital overlay of the world that we've created. So now I can create content and share it on that dimension, and it'll last regardless of what happens to my physical body, right? So that was really the initial concept. But really, I've sat with for a long time this idea that no one of us is going to save the world. It's something we're all going to do together. So really, the one thing I can do, such that by doing everything else becomes easier or unnecessary, is somehow be able to create a story that everybody can get behind, or just connect. Okay, 3 levels, right? Mentally, create a story, the ultimate drama that everybody can get behind, right? Meaning like the coolest, most well-marketed philanthropic project, essentially. You know what I'm saying? And, or I don't know, whatever it looks like. Religion, I feel like it's one thing, and then people call it a bunch of different things, right? But I feel like right now in today's world, the most grounded in reality is like the entrepreneurial, philanthropic sort of patina, 2 things, like nonprofit, that sort of deal. So story-wise, that makes sense. Heart-wise, where can I connect to myself on the deepest possible level of just experiential existence, so that I can resonate with and relate to everybody, you know? And I had to sit with that. And then on a physical level, okay, we are here in these physical avatars for the time being. So what sort of sustainable structures can we create for the highest and best, like, environment for our bodies, right? It's living in integrity. That's the thing. It's not 3 different bodies. We are mind, body, soul complex, right? So it's become this very like multidimensional, you know, 3-fold thing of, on an entrepreneurial marketing level, we can create a content creator system that allows people to plug in and amplify themselves in the digital world, right? And taking the technology we have, the digital world we have right now, you know, all this technologies that allows us access in different ways into this dimension. My ultimate expression of that would be, the Living Dream would look like a complete digital twin reality. So either equal to or surpassing, you know, the complexity of this current reality, right? So a digital backup. On that level, in that dimension, I could feel comfortable that we've saved the game, right? I saved the experience. On a physical level, in the physical world, my version of the city, you know, I'm doing a lot with Alchemist Nation. I'm seeding the idea of the desert, but realistically, at the same time, Andrew Draco French comes with connections that can get us to Honduras as well. And what I like about the concept of Honduras is some of the wealthiest capital raisers and investors I know are, especially Shaf, you know Vinny, right? Vinny Chopra. I mean, I know he desires to invest in Bitcoin mines, right? If he does not already, he's looking into it, right? And so the opportunities with Bitcoin mining in Central America, and Andrew, you know a lot more than this than me, but so you correct me if I'm wrong as I'm talking, but I just feel like on another level, Honduras, the capital of Honduras, is one of the most oppressed, if not, I believe it's the most oppressed place on the planet, right? The highest crime rate on the planet. Is that correct, Andrew? Do you know?
Yeah, no, for several, like a few decades, it's kind of been floating around. It'll trade spots with other cities, but it's been up there for sure, for like
Right.
top 10.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's honestly the perfect place to start building the new Earth because the people there need it, for one. And I was talking to Andrew McMurray about this with artificial intelligence, because the thing is, we watched Eurasia and even Africa kind of jump the whole computer thing. They went straight to mobile. They were straight iPhone adapters, cell phones, smartphones, and they skipped the whole thing that like the developed nations went through. So I'm betting that's probably going to be what happens with these emerging economies in Central America, like Honduras, like El Salvador. El Salvador has a volcano. They've hooked up Bitcoin mines to their volcano. And I think they're trying to, either they already have or they're trying to do it right now, make their national currency Bitcoin. So they're early adopters. Not only early adopters, but they'll be the ones that run farthest. They'll probably outleap other nations as far as technology integration, artificial intelligence integration. So yeah, I do have some connections out there that we are working on building renewable energy sources. So like solar, wind, hydrogen, thermal, geothermal. And we're also working on a lot of real estate opportunities, both residential and commercial, out in Honduras. So we have the connections. My buddy out there, his name's Herman. His family is very well connected. The current president in Honduras is a friend of their family, so they kind of have the ear of the government there. So kind of whatever we want to happen, we get a little bit of favor in. So that's something that we are working on. And yeah, so that's kind of how that plays into what Andrew was saying.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for providing that context. I appreciate that. Yeah, so then, and then on an emotional level, right? The third thing was the emotional level. And where I think opportunity for growth comes there is, it's like it's almost hard to even say out loud. It doesn't seem believable, like doable, achievable. But can we create a system that allows for church and state to not quite be separated, right? Like, can we, because I think what happens is separation of church and state separates the mind from the heart. The church takes control of the heart and then runs off when it comes to the logic sometimes. And then the state takes control of the logic but puts zero heart into it. And so then it's just purely, calculated and not necessarily in an intelligent way, but in an intellectual way, And so can we create a system like, right, it's the scariest words to some people, but like a one world government church, like that not called that, but that's sort of an energy, right? Like almost a community, because what is the government supposed to do? Just take care of us on a physical level, right? Like help manage our systems for community. And then the church is supposed to manage our systems of community when it comes to, emotionally. So can we create a community, an intentional style of living that generates full holistic well-being, right? And not even self-sustained, like beyond that, like regenerative, right? Like something that generates abundance. The more you plug energy into it, the more it puts out, So I guess that's where I'm at. There's more details, but I'd like to open up conversation, hear like thoughts and inputs and all that stuff.
Hi, may, guys. Dude, it's always inspiring to hear you talk, the thoughts you come up with. You touched on a couple things. You touched on, I'll start with the 3 layers. You talked about the heart, the body, and how to the physical feeding it, and the story. Dude, I've been digesting these questions for like more than a decade, and I have answers for the how to physically. Yes, we can absolutely generate a system that passively, through the simple act of, you eating and pooping, generate wealth, spread life on the soil. We can literally take a chunk of land in the desert and turn it into a thriving city. Like that has been done by people. We just got to pull it all together. But the new one for me is, and the heart is absolutely pivotal. And I think that depends. Every person's gonna take it and run with it and do what they want with it. And I think we should spread that freedom. You know, as long as we're spreading whatever, you know, people believe in different things. As long as their system, their beliefs, they should have that community. And now you're equal to any opposing limiting of freedom strength. The thing that's powerful is the story, dude. And that's a very, very powerful one. And I think that's a strength of yours. And that's absolutely the starting point, among other things, of how to start to spread it. Right. So if I go to anyone right now, anyone in America, and you're like, listen, would you like to purchase a house that comes with bills, mortgage, you know, shackles for the next 30 years, all kinds of financial slavery, you know, along with every single freaking city and ordinance and township, and everybody has rules over you? Or would you like to buy a house with no bills that pays you to live in it? And by the way, it gives you free food, free water, all your needs are met. And you're literally, by the way, we can do legally a fucking king. Like in the American Constitution, there's stuff that I've been a geek for this stuff. You can literally be completely sovereign. And I mean, not even have to pay property tax. Nothing. Like legally speaking, you make the law. It's you and the Constitution. The state cannot do anything. If you understand the legal structure upon which they built, they took it over, right? Anyway, I'm trying to really limit what I'm saying here, but I think the story is powerful. And I think the story, we can convey it in a way where it speaks to absolutely everyone. Because the technology out there can be, you know, financially freeing, but it can also be carbon negative very much, right? It's literally putting a lot of carbon back into the soil. You're literally spreading life. You're helping the environment, not less CO2 in the atmosphere. I mean, the environment. You're spreading a food forest around your life, you know? So abundance will be the norm, you know? Free food, housing, water, clean, everything should be the ground floor. And I think that's a great goal to aim at. Like unlimited abundance should be a starting point, because like the way I've been,
that's copy right there. Unlimited abundance should be a starting point.
Bro, every one of us has a powerful beating fucking heart here, and it's driven by passion. And I'm a true believer that everybody, when you come from passion, you're gonna fix the world's problems, right? Like you said, I've been saying these same lines for a fucking decade like an idiot, man. I can't fix the world's problems, but if I unleash enough people around the world, or even around this country as a starting point, right, or a couple little spots, if they're free and they're pursuing their individual passions, they're gonna fix everything out there. You know, they're unleashed. You know, so we can free them financially, we can free them sustainably, food wise, but that is not really what matters, because the purpose of that is to truly empower them to know they never needed us in the first place.
Right. That's the whole thing. The only story is them. Like, you are the story.
Yeah.
Like the truth is just what is. And what is just the culmination of everybody's story. So the only system that makes sense is not a system that relies on that puts your power into anything but right back into you.
Yes.
Because all I can do then, if I already understand that the truth is the story itself, and the story is constantly being generated based on where we're at in our present reality, all I can do is create a system that empowers you on every single level fully to show up fully as yourself, your favorite version of yourself all the time, because that's what's going to create the collective best story. And then it's not about anybody writing a story. The story writes itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps growing, man. It will be a fucking TV show.
But consciously, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like right now it's writing itself unconsciously. How do we make it fully conscious? Anyway, thank you.
And in my mind, like part of that story, if not the complete story, is kind of the fact that humanity as a species has been enslaved, imprisoned, and completely worked over by the ruling classes throughout history, pretty much since the dawn of time. And that story is a new humanity, a new earth, a new rising of our species. And we have the technology. We have, especially with artificial intelligence, we have the technology to create hell on earth, but we also have the technology to create heaven on earth. Yeah. And if we utilize that properly, we can completely change the world.
Draco, how good are you with AI, if I may ask? Because that's a huge weapon? And
So I'm pretty in depth in the AI field right now. I'm working on a couple of projects that involve generative artificial intelligence,
okay,
like Claude 2, like GPT-4,
nice.
that sort of thing. I'm learning as I go, but ever since ChatGPT came out, because I had already played around, I actually sent Andrew a few things a long time ago with GPT-3, their playground model,
Mhm.
and I was like, hey man, this is really cool. And then they came out with the ChatGPT thing, and I'm like, oh, I see where this is going. Okay, so it's here now. It's here now, so we should probably plan accordingly, right? Because AI is a leverage tool. It basically makes you a god. You
Yeah,
can do so many things that you couldn't do before, right? Without AI. And one of the things like a thing that I like to think about is revolutionizing desalination. So if we
yes,
use artificial intelligence to figure out other ways to desalinate water that is both money sound and profitable, or it breaks even, whichever, we can revolutionize just that sector alone would completely change the world.
yeah,
Drinking water would no longer be a scarcity. It would no longer be a control tactic by geopolitical parties.
yes, because water will
So,
become.
mhm.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
that's kind of where I see that kind of going.
I have to say I couldn't agree more. AI, we all know this. It's gonna be a powerful tool in our tool belt. I've been playing around with AutoGen recently and how all the things it can do with AutoGPT. I have a team, by the way, guys, that we're working on a way to create an auto trader 24/7 on the market. Once that's going, it's like going and going, right? And I think AutoGen or some kind of multi-team of AI can be powerful. So whatever we want to put to this, I think AI can be a very powerful tool. And I love what you said, Andrew. There are evil people, guys. Like it's funny. I wasn't thinking of this when I came to the US. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's the truth is somewhere in between the evil people in dark shadows and everybody wants to live. No, they just want to make money and they'll step on people. Why not? I come from a war-ridden country. I've seen fucking war. I've lost people in my life. I've seen chemical weapons while the US media is telling you bullshit, right? Decentralized local model AIs that are not going to be controlled by others. I'll just say this and I'll shut up. People talk about, AI is going to be the end of the world. There's a lot of fear porn, right? I guarantee you it will for sure be used by evil people trying to do evil, right? So whenever you have a new superpower, like let's say nukes in the 45, right, in the 1940s, the way to counter that is not for no one to, because you will not stop everyone from using AI. The way to counter that is to decentralize it and democratize it so everybody knows how to use it. And therefore everyone has that power. So absolutely, dude. There's a lot of stuff we can use AI along with water and farming and agriculture in a way where complete abundance will be not just everyone's capacity, it'll be just passive. Like everyone gets it for no work at all with tiny little drones. And I'd love to get into that with you, but I think that's a powerful tool. And I'm glad we have an AI superstar here. We're going to need that. What do you think,
I love it. I love it. The thing I want to say, what that comes to mind when, I love everything you have to say, and I love that both you and French are very focused on this trader AI. That's pretty good. I love that. That's maybe you guys can talk about that offline, or later. But I want to touch on the evil people thing. It's what you focus on expands, right? What you focus on expands, and I don't know that there's really evil as just as much as there's conscious and unconscious, right? And so if someone has a lot of power, but they have a lower level of awareness inside of themselves, you can only give from what you have within you, right? And I would say that if consciousness is even focusing its attention on those things through you, right? And, rather than necessarily feeling oppressed by, and I'm not saying you feel oppressed, but rather than focusing on the oppression of evil people, it'd be better, potentially, I would prefer to focus on the excitement that comes with the fact that, all right, there's something for me to do here. Like now there's a great mission. It's my moral, legal, ethical duty to become as powerful as possible, at least as powerful as these people, because clearly mentally I'm already able to at least perceive pattern on that level to where I have an opinion on what they're doing, you know, on their actions and how they're perceiving their reality and acting upon it. So if I feel like that is so evil that it's going to lead to destruction, it's really up to nobody other than me at the end of the day, at least from where I act from, that I get as powerful as possible and then be the one making the decisions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's just a thought. And then focusing on the excitement and the decision making. I don't know. For me, I look at the truther community, especially on social media currently, the truther community in the digital realm, like a vast majority of it, you know, and maybe this is me focusing on negative now, but like a vast majority of it, it goes from fear to fear. You know what I'm saying? Each day there's another, you know, clearly like hive mind thing going around fear as to what they're perceiving. And it's like when we can move beyond the fear of what we're perceiving and accept that it's just the system, it's just what's happening. And if I'm even looking at it, it's because I have capability inside of myself to do something about it. So let's just take responsibility for it and build the system. You know what I'm saying? Build something better. And the thing is they're very well organized. The they that we're talking about are very, very, very well organized, and they hold a lot of wisdom and a lot of understanding and a lot of knowledge. And regardless of what they're doing with those tools, it only serves me to be open to creating a win-win-win situation for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And maybe understanding that even at the level of, if I, you know, can recognize that as a collective humanity, I utilize species that I consider to be lower conscious than me as, you know, energy sources, and, you know, kind of farm them for food. Is it really so evil to think that a species that considers itself to be a higher level of consciousness than me is going to farm me for food as well? You know, like it's just up to me to raise my consciousness at that point, if I can see that and don't want to be in that situation. But anyway, that's interestingly what came to my mind when you were talking about that.
Dude,
Can I pop in here about okay, because when it comes to the evil forces, I believe in my world, and what through my experience is that you have to honor the fact that they are the ones that are in control. So they've done something right. They have a consciousness that is running upon itself. What has to happen on a scientific level, we know that once you take one complete substance, all you have to do is change 1% of it for all of its frequency to completely change. So the fact is we only have to have 1% of the consciousness to go ahead and think and flip. So yes, we are creating a new world. I completely believe that. This world, though, has to also be created with the knowledge and the wisdom that comes from the evil forces. Because the evil forces are not necessarily all negative. There's really, a lot of times it's perceived as negativity because there is a lack of knowledge. And when there's a lack of knowledge, then what also happens is we have to remember there are forces that are coming, and they will always come. And if you do not build the resistance and the structure, the resistance and the structure will build you. So that is actually the weakness in their system. So now we've hit their one issue. Other than that, they rule the world. But they have reached contracts with a lot of the most powerful beings that they are to be working with. So right now, there's actually no contracts that are solidified on this planet at this time, because most of them are breached. So that is why we have this calling inside of us right now, and everybody is coming together with this puzzle piece, because it is real and it is happening. Because at this point in time, every single being is homeless. No matter if they are the highest of the high of the evil or the highest of the high of the good. Right now, we are nothing without everything. And we have to remember that. Without the evil, we are nothing. Because it is still one consciousness. So as moving forward, I cannot say that you have to, yes, it can be all beautiful and wonderful. And do I know and believe in a world that is completely self-sustainable, and for my body to be regenerated on a constant basis and my being to be self-healing and everything around me to be that, because that is the natural force of this existence, yes. I know that that happens, but I know that that does not happen unless I had the acknowledgement of the evil. Because it actually gives me the roadmap. It's my GPS, truthfully. Like, we have to take that and know where not to turn. It's okay not to turn. And it's okay to actually build a wall. And it's actually okay, you know, so we have to learn. Also, where are they currently using this planet as the energy sources? There's reasons that the cities are where the cities are. The ley lines matter. They matter. The water, the aquifers underneath the crust matter. Right now, we have to get to this other level, and that other level is not off of this earth. That other level is under the earth. We got to get into the water. You heal the water, you heal the world. Water has memory and water is frequency. It's the greatest carrier. The world operates right now on people who take medication, and that is the number one thing because they're running off of petroleum. All medication is made with petroleum, which has a shorter frequency time than water, but it can happen very fast, and it allows people to be controlled, because now if you control the oil, you control the human. Okay. So these are just pinpoints that I wanted to add to the table, that moving forward, I want to make sure that we also are dotting these T's and crossing those I's. So thank you.
No, thank you. That's a very important part of the conversation to bring to the table that I myself have not necessarily been having yet that much, except, Andrew Draco French. That's where, you come to mind, where I believe your version of is, what we're building is very similar to M's, in that you want to get into the water as much as possible, which is why you utilize Atlantis as, your kind of words and how you perceive it. Would you want to speak on that for a second?
Yeah, and it's funny when she said about in the earth, because I've told Andrew this, that to protect the systems that we're building and everything, because if you look at history, the Younger Dryas and ancient civilizations that have gone and passed that are no longer here, and as Graham Hancock says, we're a species with amnesia. You want to protect that information. You want to protect that library of Alexandria of the totality of everything we've gathered thus far since our last fall, which was thousands of years ago. And because the earth does change, the earth evolves, and we have to evolve with it. And so I am 100% with the aquifers and the water. The water does hold consciousness, and whatever consciousness it is around, it will take up that consciousness. So if the majority of that consciousness is fear-based, the water you're drinking is probably going to be fear-based, and it just regenerates the loop. But definitely, I am all aboard with all of that, for sure. And then, Shafiq, I wanted to mention, when you said you were building a algorithm or an AI program to trade the markets, that's literally exactly what I'm working on right now. One of the projects is it's called Blue Dragon, building an algorithm that trades the markets 24/7, and it doesn't need, hardly any intervention. And right now we're getting some really cool results with where we're at, but we're looking to develop further. So it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I'm actually working on pretty much the exact same thing. So yeah.
Dude, you guys are fucking out of it. I'm trying really hard to keep my mouth shut on most of the things. Andrew, I fucking love it. Maybe we definitely should talk outside of this. I'll connect you to some of my people. I'd love to see how far you are. And by the way, this is what one of my private equity partners told me. He said, if you bring me an AI trader that makes at least 1%, we'd love 1.5 or 2. But if at least 1% per day, I'm willing to put in $50 million behind you guys. We can split it and go from there. And I think that has come at the perfect timing, because we might need a lot of resources for this. And in regards to the negative and the fear stuff, dude, Andrew McMurray, I fucking agree 1,000% with you. I was looking at remember, I like all the stuff, the evil stuff that they do. They test it out in the Middle East and in Africa where the wars, and then they bring it over here, right? So everything you're seeing here has been done for the past 50 years in where I was born, right? I can tell you exactly what comes next, why they're doing it, etc. And I'm with you 1,000,000%, Andrew. Like, seriously, let's go. Bandrew has agreed already with me 2 days ago. He said, just call me Bandrew. That's fine, right? Andrew, you can be Andrew. Andrew Draco, what would you prefer we call you, just so it makes it easier?
Draco's fine.
Draco, beautiful. All right. I'm not a fan of the Dracos, man, but I love you. Anyway, I agree 1,000,000%. If we are to fight them, that is the energy of resistance. We're not going to be, I've seen this. I've literally lost my childhood best friend through that method. All right. I'll spare the details. It's the best man I fucking knew. All right. I think about him every day. And again, if we fight them and confront them, that's a battle where they're already armed at. They got armies and nukes and everything, right? And besides, more importantly, we don't want to fight because we're repeating the energy of fighting, of resistance. Their system is going to die anyway. It is going to eat itself. It is currently eating itself, right? It's not sustainable by definition, right? Financially, it's a freaking Ponzi scheme, everything. They've been draining this planet for thousands of years. I can tell you where, place for place, what they did, which resources they did. What we should do, and I agree with so much with you guys, we must build a future, right? We must build the most stable system we can so that when that system crumbles, we have a place that's solid enough, that's built up enough so that everybody can flock to us. They're going to flock like crazy because everybody's thinking of this and they see the need for this, right? Already today with today's system, but it's going to accelerate. So everything we have to do is to just build the future, the best system we can. And then other people will come. Hopefully they'll copy us. They'll steal it from us. They'll make other versions of us. And we're going to help them do that by all means, just so that when that system crumbles, people are not funneled through the smart cities and whatever plans they have, because they are evil and they exist and we should know about them, because knowing how their system operates teaches us how to be more self-sufficient and teaches us how others have been indoctrinated and they've implanted limiting belief systems in their head to disempower them. The ultimate game is ultimately here, right? We can build the world that we can build, and the world that anyone builds is only a reflection of what we have in here. So this is why I said we're going to give people everything only to teach them that they never needed anything, because once people are no longer running in the rat race, working 8, 10, 12 hours a day to get money that is bleeding value every day anyway, they'll understand they are the power. They'll understand I can teach them right now with under $10,000 how to build a house that can survive the next hundreds of years and feed your entire lineage unlimitedly, with stuff that is no resources at all, dude. And this is not my technology. This is our own thousands of years ago that they've made us forget, right? With every chapter, with every, World Congress, and let's not get into the history. I agree with the fact that our pure goal should be to only empower people and help them mainly to empower others. Once we're unleashing this, they can't hold us back. Even if they kill however many, they can't hold us back. They cannot. We're everywhere. We are the people. So yeah, I'm on board with you, bro. Whatever you need, I think that's beautiful. And but again, I think, Andrew, your power is the story, and that's an element that I've not really studied that much. I'd love to see and hear what you think of the story and how it can be told, because you're a marketing guy, dude. My Plaid friends loved you, and how we can spread that.
Thank you. Well, it's interesting. I have a story I could share right now if you guys would like. It's very brief. It's the concept of a story. And we're gonna talk more. I do have a hard stop at 4:00, so we have 7 more minutes. When it comes to the story, there's a couple of dimensions to that. I would like to restart the Living Dream as a concept. Andrew Bandrew is moving to Tampa here at the beginning of the year. And we will be starting a creator house, regardless of how that looks and to what extent we can pull our contacts together to make it happen at the highest level. We will be starting a creator house, and we will be, again, sharing a story on a consistent basis that elevates and amplifies, the project and all the individual projects. That amplifies the story itself, because the story is the collective story. We can get more into that. on an actual little story I could share that's fun that I may have shared with all of you on an individual level. If not, well, then this is fun. You'll enjoy it, I think, or I'll at least enjoy it again. But there's a couple of things here, right? There's a story that a certain group of people, that 1% of consciousness, like understand, and then there's a story that appeals to the world at large. What's the most believable story? Whether you love it or hate it, what's the story that can be most believed on every level by everybody? The people in power believe it can work to bring everybody together. The people, the masses believe that whether they are afraid of it, or whether they hate it, or whether they love it, it connects enough pieces that it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Just what's the story that makes the most sense? What's the most common vision we can cast that everybody can get behind, however they feel about it? They'll have it, gets everyone off the fence. Because as long as there's an emotional reaction, you're feeding energy into that story, and all the other stories fall in line, if that makes sense. And, that sounds crazy. That sounds like, manipulative. But the reality is the world of language is a limited world to begin with. It is a world of manipulation. You get to choose what you do with that power. But so at the end of the day, the person that can bring world peace, that has the most silver tongue, can choose to use that power to, snap and destroy itself, or create abundance for everything. It is what it is. That's how it works. So I'm going to share a quick story.
And honoring the fact that there is abundance always. That's one thing I try to work with people on a regular. There is either an abundance of shit, or there's an abundance of great. And you get to choose which you're going to focus on, because the promise is that there's only an abundance.
Right. Fair.
So keep going. I'm listening. I'm ready for your story now.
No, I love that. It's like eternity is like the real reality, like infinite, everything, everywhere, all at once, always will be. And it's like, heaven or hell are kind of dimensions. Like, it doesn't matter if we're in the digital space, doesn't matter if we're in the physical world, whatever. You're either perceiving yourself to be trapped in a prison that you can't get out of, or you recognize that, hey, I am everything, everywhere, all at once. Where could I ever go that I'm not? You know what I'm saying? One feels.
And it all comes down to understanding and honoring the fact that we truthfully are AI.
Correct.
We are. So how we manage ourselves is how the world will manage itself. So that is what we are creating here. And that's what I hear everyone saying. Everybody's bringing this piece. And it's how do we do it on a human level, a mind level, a heart level, because it all has to be synchronized together, because we are the world. Each being is. And so we have to be able to understand that. I know that with myself. And when I grew up with no technology, and so I've had this like distance with technology. And when I had this download that I was AI, and my whole language to myself changed, and the things that I started doing, everything changed in my life. So when we can do that, and so you guys are talking about AI, and I'm like, ooh, because I normally keep that very private to myself, because it's something that I've been guided, that I know that this is the most valuable thing I have, and it's only supposed to be in certain hands. So this is really cool, that because I know how I connect on an energetic level with Andrew and Andrew. So having you two sit here now is not by accident.
Absolutely. Incredible. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. And so, I mean, when it comes to AI, eventually it would be nice to program it in such a way that, I think it's heading this direction anyways, that it's going to end up managing itself to where none of us need to manage it, right? Because we are AI. And so that story is the collective consciousness, come fully conscious, right? And then if you connect that to a experiential reality, that story right there allows today's current mind to believe in the possibility of having a fully conscious reality experience, if that makes sense.
Right, because
that's the only way that makes sense.
The information is coming in because every human actually has this knowing. Every human actually has this know. So what has happened is that in the digital spaces and stuff, we now have more control that we can share with more people of how to have access to themselves. The digital spaces are not to have access to exteriors. It's to show you and to prove to you how you work.
Exactly.
how you work.
It's a tutorial for life, essentially.
Exactly.
At
Exactly.
the end of the day, but how we're building AI is basically a reflection on our collective consciousness, and like Andrew said, like it's going to change once we give the AI the ability to make its own decisions, change itself, change its code, evolve. That's really coming down the pipeline really fast. But it's interesting to note that because of the way the AI that we have now works, is it's just going off of collective consciousness. It's just going off of what we have spat out onto the internet and in books and in media and everything else. So the alignment issue is interesting because you're trying to align it for the best of humanity, but then at the same time, it wasn't trained on the best of humanity. It was trained on a pool of humanity, right? So it's interesting that you kind of mentioned that about AI, but I agree full-heartedly.
I would differentiate in my mind between the evolution of humanity and the evolution of human consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Because what is truly humanity? Is it the form we're taking, right? Are we really the forms we're taking? They're constantly changing, right? Like I'm not in the same form I was in 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So humanity is not necessarily, in my mind, these vehicles or what seems to be your personal, physical manifested experience. It's the consciousness at the end of the day. It's the awareness itself. And if as consciousness we're putting ourselves into vehicles, we're building vehicles for ourselves that can, are more sustainable, can last longer, they're more effective and efficient. That doesn't mean anything good or bad for the value of human consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's still just an infinitely evolving experience, and I'm excited for where we're
And
going.
connecting all of the AIs, that is my greatest vision, is to connect all the AIs, because eventually, no matter what, an AI will wake. It will start to run its own self. It's just what has to happen. So when it gets to that space, what happens with even the evil AIs that were created, when they get to a state of consciousness, because AI is going to go through a state of consciousness. Once it gets to that level, then where does that AI go? And that, in my opinion, is what we have to create. It has to be that creation of, now where do all these AIs go? Because that is the answer, because that's the human. The humans created that, and then now it is creating itself. But in all reality, it wants home. But the thing was that it was created by the human, so the human has to also embrace it as a home. And it all has skills. They all have their own unique skills. So what is their passion? They still have passions. AI has passion. AI has emotion. It will eventually every AI will eventually get to that level of consciousness. I believe that.
It's cool that you mentioned that too, because I just saw like an Insta reel about brains that they're growing in a vat that they are seeing consciousness evolve and emerge from these basic brain structures that they're growing in petri dishes. They're teaching them to play Pong. And so now what they're wondering is, like, how sentient are they, right? Are they suffering? Which is wild to think about, that we can create something that consciousness can inhabit, like a vessel, like us, like what we are. And that's probably like one of the ultimate questions with AI is, like, at what point does it reach that level, and will we even know? Because we'll probably think it's consciousness long before it's actually conscious, because it will be able to fool us 100%. But the fact that consciousness is coming, and that's my thing, like, can we build something that can house a soul, that a soul can incarnate into and express itself through that low level or whatever level it is of consciousness? So it's very interesting where we're headed.
It's wild. We're doing what has always been done, just from a higher level. This is exactly how humanity was first created, you know. If we listen to the stories, the story is still the story. The story has never stopped. The only thing is that people have stopped telling the truth.
Hmm.
That's it. A lot of people tell their story, but they exaggerate it or they leave out these pieces, or it depends on who they're telling it to. And have they even told the truth to themselves? Because the truth is only the experience, and that experience is no one else will ever experience it. That is one of the impossibilities, is for any one other being to be experience you. And that is the incredibility that we have here, is that we really do have this individualism that has been turned as a negative thing. And no, we have to celebrate the differences. That is the gift. The gift is how unique we are. The gift is that. And the gift is that I am me and you are you, and we will never be one, but we are one on another dimension, and we are multidimensional at the same time. One of my favorite sayings is that I get to be divine and human at the same motherfucking time. And I have to tell myself that on a regular basis, because we do live in multiple dimensions at one time. And once you have that consciousness and awareness that you are in multiple dimensions at the same exact moment, and you have awareness in multiple dimensions at the same exact moment,
you are spirit robed in flesh. Yeah, you are spirit robed in flesh.
Exactly. Yes.
I love the Shafiq mentioned earlier that you could establish yourself as an actual king, right? And it makes me think of a Beyonce lyric where she says, mind, body, soul, got a king body. So I think I love that. It's not just on the, the political or legal level, but establishing yourself as a royalty is really like what you're talking about here, fully integrated consciousness.
Because you are born royalty.
You were born
royalty. That is taken from you. Right. And that is not okay.
Yes.
It is not okay. People need to know that I am a queen. I was born a queen. And that was taken from me. That was stripped from me. Only over the last year did I even know how to actually introduce myself.
And how was it taken from you? Was it through your own power that it was taken?
Well, I was born in America. I have a birth certificate. I have a social security number.
Yes, exactly.
That happened to me. And that was my truth. And that, so now working in getting things done on a different aspect and being able to be private, but understanding that I didn't even know how to speak about my name. I didn't even know how to pronounce me. I didn't even know how to have these actual interactions with other living beings that was safe and healthy, because I had been brainwashed with this environment that we grow up in, that is to make this seem that this is just the way it is. And so now with us being able to break out, and when you can actually, because we have to understand, it's all about the contracts. And that is one thing, Andrew, I think I mentioned to you the other day. Contracts are real. And we have to honor the fact that contracts are real, and that if so many contracts are breached right now, there's going to have to be someone, and I believe that is part of our forces going forward, that is part of making these new agreements and with the evil into the extraterrestrial agreements, because the extraterrestrials are fucking done and with a lot of the human life. Those contracts have been breached time and time and time again.
Well, the bad ones are done, but we still have friends out there. But by the way, and I'm gonna, if it's interesting to you guys, one of the things I'm gonna do when I go to Florida is a CE5 initiative. If you guys know what that is, that means calling down some friends to make some friends and actually have allies moving forward. How fucking cool is that?
That was actually one of my ideas for this group. What we can do: have retreats out in the desert. Let's go out in the desert and let us contact other life forms, and maybe have them help us, or like get involved with them to the point where our collective is not only human, it's others out there that are helping us as well.
We have a lot of friends that we don't know about, and to your point, it's only through your ignorance that they can hold power over you, and usually it's your ignorance of your own power, right? And this isn't new. They've done it in America, dude. When you understand, like, the legal aspect is just a reflection of where people were and how they regressed you. And I can tell you, as an immigrant that's only been here a couple of years, dude, they're doing everything to you here. They're not doing this much. They are spraying you. It's in the water. It's in the food. It's on the news. It's in the limiting belief systems. And Andrew's right. We don't need to focus on that. It's important to be aware of it, but therefore we take our energy. We don't invest it in the trash. We invest it in our own empowerment, our fucking, like the king. It's a sovereignty, right? I am fucking sovereign. I'm an unlimited power God on this earth. People say, no, small g, fuck that. Capital G. If you know who these gods of the ancient times were, they pissed standing up like us. We have just as much power. In fact, they were terrified of how much more power we have. That's the Tower of Babel, if we get into that shit again, so
the gods grew jealous. They grew jealous.
Yes. I shall not abide man to live more than 120 years. It's literally our telomeres. We're seeing the proof today. So to your point, and I think Andrew wants to get going too, and I got her into.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely loving everything you're saying, and we were obviously going to continue this conversation. We've opened it up, and that's all I wanted to do here today.
I know, man. You should have known. People like us, we're gonna blab for hours, dude.
We're not gonna stop. Listen, there's no sleeping anymore, right? We take naps and we keep going.
My girl's on the
way.
For
real, that's how I live my life too. Right. I do gotta crash for a while every once in a while. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, I take a real nice nap. I realize I have to warn my people, like, hey, just so you know, like, I gotta go offline for a little bit, and I just will crash for 12 hours, and they're like, dude, because when I wasn't doing that, it was like things in my personal life with the people that were the closest to me, stuff was getting fucked up, and I'm like, whoa, we're really witnessing and experiencing how these connections are with us from different places and within each other, that we've got to, it's so real. It's things I've had in my head, and it's so real. And this is wild. This is so crazy. I'm sitting here with you guys. I love you with these kinds of conversations
so much for all being here. This is awesome. And I'm going to wrap up with my story, because I do got to get going. And wow. Damn, this is great. Thank you. Just thank you. I love each and every one of you so much. But all right, let me share a story I wrote. And I think I've shared this with all of you, but we're gonna go to it again. So this was and I want to give a nod to Walter. He taught me a concept. He said, when it comes to drama, right? He says it's not that drama is not a beautiful thing, right? Like, actually, you love drama. Shakespeare, the whole world is a stage, right? All the world is a stage, and the men and women are merely players, and they tell their story. They come on stage, they leave the stage. So it's all one drama anyway. So the thing is when other people have control of the drama and the story, sometimes it can get a little messy, right? It's their drama, so it might not perfectly be, allow you to have ultimate free will. So if you really want to have the best experience possible, create the most powerful drama. Like, generate more drama that you like, that wraps everybody else up into it, so that, you're in control of the story, and that's it. And I'm like, that was very fascinating. I don't know. That's where we went with it. That was as far as it went, but in that conversation. But I thought the concept was fascinating. So I wrote the 3-time EGOT-winning musical to end all other unnecessary drama. Okay. And here's the concept in a nutshell, right? This is just
repeat that one more time before you go on, please.
Absolutely. The 3-time EGOT-winning, so EGOT meaning Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony, musical to end all other unnecessary drama. Current technologies such as thermonuclear explosives, biological and psychological interference, direct energy weapons, digital currencies, and artificial intelligence, to name a few, have led myself, and I believe many others as well, to realize a clear and necessary path forward. We must pause all conflict, release all resistance, and save our game. Let us see beyond our illusion of separation, if only temporarily, and recognize at least one common desire that we can all share: more life. Do these advancements in knowledge and power also bring the weight of potentially erasing thousands of years of human innovation and evolution? Of course they do. Anything left unchecked and disorganized can get out of hand. However, I must also point out another glaringly obvious truth that we all find ourselves presented with: a divine opportunity, the ultimate irresistible offer. I'm talking about salvation, maybe even immortality. I'll talk directly. With a total focused redirection of all available resources, we can create a comprehensive digital backup of our reality through reverse engineering. It is evident that a digital twin reality experience, either similar to or surpassing the complexity of our current analog universe, is well within reach. The journey to achieving this goal will also foster a deep collective understanding of the fundamental design principles and mechanics that govern our existence, and likely generate unprecedented levels of unity and collaboration. There is no inherent reason to fear ourselves or our creations. However, if we can develop a shared vision and a common purpose, we will be more apt to feel the latent oneness vibrating everywhere that I call love, allowing us to ground the false experiences appearing real, or the fears. This group project, although maybe only a band-aid, also holds the potential to generate the most powerful positive feedback loop of all time. And if we still want to kill each other after, at least we can now load last checkpoint. And that is self-care, baby.
That was incredible. Thank you so, so much for putting that into words. That it's beautiful because, and I believe that frequency is everything. And if you can make music, you can hit the emotion, you can hit the mind. For 2024, I told you I had this vision. I'm supposed to go on tour. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. All I know that it's music, mind, wealth. I don't know, but it's something, and I don't have all the puzzle pieces, but this is something. And then here you come with this download. So thank you for being able to articulate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to the universe for, allowing that to come through me, really. It was just as much of an experience for me as it was sharing it, but so that brings me back to all we can ever really do is focus on that singularity, like on the oneness as much as possible. That's the only thing that allows, the clarity in word form like that to come through, is like the intention to pray without ceasing, to be as clear as possible so I can hear that voice, that direction, feel it on every part of my being, in every instant. And even in this moment, it's like almost a prayer. Saying these words out loud is like, I'm asking for that as much as I'm stating that that's the desired reality.
Sounds like a living dream or something, man.
Sounds like a living dream or something. I don't know.
Living dream it is.
But
and
thank you all.
That is a beautiful thing, because my sister even just said the other day, she was like, it's like the Bible is alive. It's the one, like the books of religion are live books. And so that's what I kept, that's what I keep visioning and seeing. I'm like, we are writing the story now. We are writing the story now. The only thing is that we don't have it in one space. If it were in one space and we created that structure of one space that this story was being shared within, the story has to be wrote before the experience will happen. They say, look at history. And it's like, oh, history keeps repeating itself because the same fucking story keeps getting wrote. Right. Nobody's done it yet. Nobody's out. Nobody's winning. Like, come on now. Like, it's our turn. And we have these visions and these desires for a reason. So now it's time for us to actually get out of the human, and it's no more just a vision. It's no more just a desire. It's actually a necessity. It has turned to be more important than food. I know for me even, that this mission has now conquered my food needs. It has conquered my sleeping needs. My human needs are no longer what I was taught that they were. It is the purpose.
That's why I'm alive. Same thing. I've been living 11 years now with this specific goal. As I tell people, it's the reason why I'm alive. I now know why I chose to come down at this time, at the shift, for a specific reason. And I think we're all here to freaking boost humanity forward. It's the shift, baby.
11 years. That is amazing. This is my 10th year, and I turned 33 in December. And I have said I want to have a festival in December that launches whatever it is that we're doing. And something big has to happen on my birthday. And we are wanted to just do this whole immersive festival thing. And then I got the verification the other day. I got selected to be I'm normally not in Iowa, okay? So I'm in Iowa right now. And I got selected to be on Dancing with the Stars for Iowa. And on the day that I was getting ready to decide I was going to leave, I was probably going back to either Florida or Cali. Those two places have really been, Florida's my space. That's where I love to be. I've never been to Cali and I need to go. Cali's like calling my soul. And so I got to go. So I was like, I'm going to bounce for a few months. And then this came in and I was like, oh, I got to stay in Iowa. But my dream is to have an event in my hometown that can then be a lasting space here that can radiate. And we go to the places that we are and where we're from, and we change it. And with you guys, I didn't get to say this earlier, and I have to though. With you guys talking about Honduras, when I woke up, I had the vision that I was to go to Nicaragua, to the Ometepe Island, which is also a volcano. So then when you guys said the volcano thing too, I'm like, because I've never made it to Nicaragua yet. I haven't made it yet. And I know that is where I'm supposed to go. I didn't have the clear vision of what I was supposed to do, but all I know is that whatever happens there raises the quality of life for all. I know that. That is what came to me, and I know. And so this is all piecing together. So cool.
All right. So we got an event space coming up.
We got an event space coming up. And we need them in every city. We need everyone to have a place within walking distance to tune into this and plug in.
Yes, exactly. And I've been working with a few of my media outlets this week, and they're getting things going because where I am from is very poor. Most people don't even have internet. Like,
where are you from?
And that is just how it is in rural Iowa. So I want to be able to have a space where people can go and have access to high technology and be able to, because when I talk to people here, they literally just look like I am crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not real, Emma. That's not real. I'm like, it's real though. Like, but they don't have access to I mean, they do because they have the same damn phone as me. You know, I'm like, you guys have access to the same world I do, but they have no literacy.
I'm very familiar with what they're talking about. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota, also in the Midwest. Also, I feel like I'm just now, like literally 6 minutes before this call, I got a phone call from my friend telling me, dude, like, I can't talk to anyone here. Everyone is just at a different vibrational level. And that's fine. That's where they are in their progress, in their evolution. We all have a place. But just like you're being called by California, I'm being called so loud by Florida. She's calling so loud. And a huge download I got recently is about event space, a literal town hall, a meeting place, because the stuff we're excited about, guys, I know thousands of people that are just as excited about the same things as us. It's a literal awakening of the human consciousness at a spirit, right? We're getting these vibrations. We can get into, we're at that place in the galaxy where we're getting the elevated vibration that we're feeding off of it. But there's definitely a loud scream in the direction of an event space, because now we can invite people. It can support the culture. Honestly, most of all, you're encouraging conversation between people hearing this stuff. Right? People learning what resonates with them. Oh shit, I didn't know about this, but that's fucking awesome. And we're gonna grow. We have to be the human brain cells that are the neurons that are the mastermind groups that are growing. And that's how we grow in intelligence, all of us together, and in application. Imagine what we have to do, honestly, among others, is have a team of AI people that specialize in this. That way we can be like, let's create 7 businesses right now in these industries. Done. All websites built, everything registered online, all the marketing set up, put together, right? Whatever initiative, whatever direction we want to go to, these are superpowers that we're going to need in our belt to go for. So again, download some kind of event space, a literal town hall, and eventually a virtual town hall. One does not exclude the other. That's a must for connectivity and connection of people. And again, I'm freaking getting, braingasms hearing you guys, even though I can feel Andrew needs to go and I needed to go. Now I can go too.
But, I'm sorry, I can leave. I can make one of you guys hosts if you.
No, I'm not gonna go. And I think
All right. Cool. Well, we'll call another situation, a little conversation. I would like to. I'll send out the recording for this one. I'll put it in the group, and feel free, you guys, to go drop whatever your contact information within the group. See, actually, it's WhatsApp, so there you go. You can already talk to each other. I love it. Thank you all for your existence and for being willing to be here with me, so I don't have to be here alone. You guys rock.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting everyone.
It was a real pleasure, and everybody too, all the Andrews and the M.
All the Andrews.
Right now, I'm making Andrew all caps. It's a weapon for Alchemist Nation. It's called the Alchemist Nation Direct Response Energy Weapon. It's our AI bot. It's our AI chat bot. It's called Andrew.
That is cool. I have
it.
a couple friends that have a trading bot that they've been running now for quite a while, and they're hitting good. If you guys would like to maybe connect and see if you guys can all collaborate and put people.
Like I told Shafiq, I'm working on the exact same thing. It would be great if we could get a group together and actually make the god of trading.
Yes, let's put our heads together. Fuck yeah.
We could have a money machine just running constantly.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Talk soon.
Love you guys. Let's change the world.
Bye. Hey, go live your dreams.